for the last almost 25 years, I have painted the set for Chalk Follies. Children's Hospital Orange County does an annual Follies Fundraiser. And this is all of the scenery having been delivered to my house and taking over my entire house. It's not as bad as in 2020, where it was delivered the day before lockdown and then stayed for 2 years. This time, we only had it for 2 weeks, but at any rate, we had the delivery of all the scenery, and the scenery has these flipping panels that change from one set to another. And so this is Daddy and I attaching all of the flipping panels using some gaffer's tape, 3-inch wide gaffer's tape, and then stapling it in to make sure that it doesn't peel away. The gaffer's tape hinges are really nice because they make it easier to paint. So why, you might ask, are we painting this gigantic set in our living room?
Why?
So when I first started painting chalk 20-something years ago, we were always painting in some abandoned storefront or warehouse, something that someone would donate some time in because it's for charity. And they don't want to spend the money that they're making for children's medical research, renting a facility to paint the set for the fundraiser. That just seems like counterintuitive. So people would donate facilities. And they were always far away from me. And they were always dirty. The last place that they gave us didn't have any power, didn't have running water, and had been vacant for, I think it was 4 years. So it did have a lot of filth. So they ran extension cords from 3 doors down. They had an agreement that we could have power. And then they set up like little work lights. And it was so dark and creepy. And that was where the security guard yelled at us because we were in this shopping center in Costa Mesa. And every time we left this like nasty, dirty building, we would leave dusty footprints in the parking lot. And he was so mad because he had to hose off our dusty footprints every time we left. And could we walk a block down the street to the grass before we crossed into the parking lot to wipe our feet on the grass before we went into the parking lot, please? Because it was such a tragedy for him because there couldn't be footprints in a parking lot. And so it was that year when I had to walk for 5 minutes to use a restroom, when I said, you know what, we're going to paint it at my house. And so we have, and usually we paint it outside. Sometimes we've been able to paint it in our extra room if it was small enough pieces. This was not small. I don't know. Did you guys notice that it was raining this month? Did you notice? Did you know that? Did you have any idea? Record rain. So yeah, rain and power, climate control. I had climate control and TV and all the electricity I could want. That's why our living room. I had to be very careful when I painted the first ones to make sure that I was painting them in a simple enough way that repeating it over and over and over and over and over again throughout all of the walls wouldn't take 5,000 years. Children's Hospital is pretty awesome. We like Children's Hospital. We are familiar with Children's Hospital because when Tyler was younger, she had to have surgery at Children's Hospital Los Angeles. So I've got kind of a soft spot in my heart because they took such good care of little bitty 4-year-old Tyler. Ty actually was doing an animation about the surgery, like I think it was a year and a half ago that you started that animation. And then halfway through the animation, your drawing style changed and you got stuck and didn't finish the animation.
I think I lost motivation and then my style drastically changed.
I think we should show it anyway. I think we should show the first chunk of the animation for Children's Hospital.
So my story is the time I almost gave my mom a heart attack.
I feel like you've done that more than once, but this was a good one.
Yeah. I was 4 years old, just little me. I had this little bump just over my eyebrow, and it kept getting bigger and moving, and no one knew what it was.
So your pediatrician sent you to a pediatric plastic surgeon at Children's Hospital Los Angeles to have it checked out.
When we were in the waiting room, I can vaguely remember that was dark and ocean themed.
Yeah, it was a little dimly lit and it was definitely ocean themed, and there was a big sandcastle play structure.
Yeah, and so it had this slide.
So what's really funny is it takes a turn right where you stopped animating. There's a twist. Everybody in the comments, all 2 of our fans, tell Tyler to finish this animation because it's so cute. And you gotta know what the twist, what's the twist?
There was earlier where there was Critical Role going at super speed.
Yeah, the sped up. Yeah. Well, because I was in the middle of the living room, so whoever was watching whatever, it's always like chilling there. Because I was painting at all hours of the day and night. So yeah, I wasn't making you guys not watch TV, but there were several days where there were pieces of scenery that were blocking parts of the TV screen, like this one. And Sam's current obsession is BTS. And so we were watching a lot of compilations and Run BTS, and the subtitles kept being slightly cut off by the scenery in front of it. And so Sam decided we had to learn Korean. So that'll be a summer project. We're going to learn Korean so that if we ever have a set in front of our TV again, we can still understand BTS because that's important. Yeah, if you're going to have an obsession, I'm glad it's them because they're adorable. This is me painting those clouds upside down because the wall was sideways and I forgot which end was the top for a sec. So I had to paint them again. You can see that they're upside down there. I painted them again off camera and then got the shadows on the right side of them that time. So this is my least favorite part of the entire process. This is the mile tall and wide menus, and I had to paint them sideways because these walls were 12 feet tall and they wouldn't fit in it's a very tall ceiling that we have, but it's not that tall. So yeah, I had to paint them sideways. I mean, the menus are fun. The menus have funny things on them, but yeah, it was still just 2 hours of pain and agony. That's probably why my neck's so sore, is those things. And then here we go, candy corn. You know what? You guys are never going to believe this, but painting a giant candy corn mountain on day 8 of a 10-day painting project didn't make me like candy corn any more than I completely and totally hated them before. Are you shocked?
No.
I actually shouldn't complain because I really liked this set. This set was really fun to paint. Each year, Chalk Follies has a different theme, and this one was a really fun one. It's right in my wheelhouse where everything's kind of cutesy and nothing's too geometric. Geometric takes me more time, but cutesy and roundy is a lot quicker to paint.
Definitely a lot more colorful than I think last year.
Oh, last year's was Gatsby. It was no color at all. And also it was cursed because it was the one that didn't happen in 2020, didn't happen in 2021, happened in 2022. And they used live hinges, which are these plastic hinges on the set originally. And when we pulled them out in 2022, they'd been sitting for 2 years. And so they were shattering instead of hinging. So we ended up having to pry them all off. That one was a struggle. It was a struggle and a half. For sure. Not my favorite. And then here we are on the stage. They loaded it in, and then we went back to touch everything up. So this is how all of the flips work, because we didn't actually ever show this at our house. Look at that. I love the houses in the back. They're the furthest thing back, but they're my favorite part. And actually the chocolates in the middle, they're kind of a secret door back there. They're fun too.
It's like Mariah Elizabeth-y.
It is Mariah Elizabeth-y. I think it turned out great. This was one of my favorites. Everyone at Chalk was very pleased and the designer was very pleased. So actually that's the designer right there. He liked it a lot. And that's always good. When you make the client and the designer happy, then it's all good. But boy, oh boy, did it take over our lives.